Thomas Reed was 72 when he finally decided to sell the house. It stood on a quiet street in Ohio, its white paint fading, its porch steps creaking with memories. The house had been too big since Margaret died 5 years earlier. Too quiet, too full of echoes. He told himself this was practical. His children lived in other states. The winters were hard on his knees. It was time. Still, every cardboard box he packed felt like a goodbye he wasn't ready to say. On a gray afternoon, Thomas climbed into the attic to collect the last forgotten things. Dust floated in the sunlight like tiny ghosts. Old Christmas decorations, yellowed newspapers, a cracked leather suitcase he didn't recognize. Curious, he pulled it closer. The lock was broken. Inside were neatly folded clothes from another lifetime, a faded photograph of himself as a young man, and a small envelope tucked into the side pocket. The paper was thin, fragile, yellowed with age. On the front, written in careful handwriting, "For Thomas, if you ever come back." His breath stopped. He sat down slowly, the floor groaning beneath him, hands trembling as he opened the envelope. The date on the letter was from 1974, 50 years ago. "Thomas, if you're reading this, it means life finally led you back to me in some strange way. I waited for you at the bus station every Friday for 3 months. I told myself you were busy, that your job in Chicago needed you, that love could survive distance. Then your letters stopped. I thought maybe you were angry, or afraid, or had simply found someone better. I never blamed you out loud. But inside, I broke. I wanted you to know the truth. The one I never had the courage to say. I was pregnant. Our daughter was born in the spring. I named her Lily. She has your eyes, the same quiet sadness when she thinks no one is looking. I raised her alone. I told her father was a good man who loved deeply, even if life pulled him away. If fate is kind, maybe one day you will know. And if not, just know, Thomas, you were the greatest love of my life." Always, Eleanor Thomas could not feel his hands. The room blurred. His chest tightened as though the air itself had become heavy. A daughter? He had never known. He had written letters, dozens of them. After he moved to Chicago for work, he sent letter after letter to Eleanor's address in Pennsylvania, but none were answered. Eventually, silence convinced him she had moved on. So he had too. He married Margaret 2 years later, built a life, had 2 sons. But Eleanor had never left his heart. And now this, a child. His child. He pressed the letter to his chest as a sound escaped his throat, something between a sob and a broken breath. "I didn't know," he whispered to an empty attic. For 2 days, Thomas barely slept. He searched through old records, phone books, online archives. The name, Eleanor Whitmore, Pennsylvania. Finally, he found a clue. An obituary. Eleanor had died 3 years earlier. Thomas closed his laptop slowly, the weight of regret pressing down on him like stone. He was too late. But beneath the obituary was a list of family members. Survived by her daughter, Lily Whitmore, age 49, residing in Michigan. His heart began to race. Lily. Thomas drove 6 hours the next morning. He didn't know what he would say, or if she would slam the door in his face. He only knew he couldn't die carrying this silence. He stopped outside a small blue house with white shutters. A child's bicycle lay in the yard. His hands shook as he knocked. The door opened. A woman stood there, mid-40s, tired eyes, and unmistakably his. "Yes?" she asked gently. Thomas swallowed. "My name is Thomas Reed." She tilted her head slightly. I believe I'm your father." The world seemed to stop. Lily stared at him, her face pale. "My mother said you were kind," she whispered. "She said you loved her." Tears filled her eyes. "She never said you left us." Thomas broke down. They sat for hours at her kitchen table. He showed her the letter. He told her about the letters he had sent. She told him about growing up without answers. 2 lives shaped by a misunderstanding. 2 hearts quietly broken by time. Before he left, Lily hugged him tightly. "You can't change the past," she said softly, "but you found me. That matters." As Thomas drove away, tears blurred the road. The truth had broken him, but it had also given him something he thought he had lost forever. A piece of his heart returned. After 50 years.